Here they are, the champions who made history. Years of dreaming, and today it's finally real. Welcome home, champions.
Today, our champions returned home, where Argentina's national team received a heroic welcome. As they stepped off the plane, they were greeted with a grand red carpet reception. When the players boarded the double-decker bus, thousands of passionate fans filled the streets, chanting loudly and lifting the team's spirits. Meanwhile, Captain Lionel Messi shared his first message on social media after the defeat, writing that the pain of losing the World Cup runs incredibly deep. No one could have imagined that an entire nation would go completely crazy in a single night. This story begins the moment the airplane's wheels touched the soil of Argentina. Inside the aircraft, the players looked out from their seats, unaware of what was waiting for them outside. Just imagine, for miles below, on the streets, on rooftops, even on top of cars, there was only one color. Blue and white had completely covered the land. And in the middle of it all was an emotion that had been buried for years, finally set free. This wasn't just a celebration of victory. It was the reward for years of hard work, broken dreams, and the patience of an entire nation. But to truly understand this moment, we have to go back a little, because that's where the Real story begins. The moment the final whistle echoed through the stadium in Qatar, time itself seemed to stand still. Every Argentine heart was silently praying, "Please, no more waiting." And when victory was finally confirmed, the roar that erupted inside the stadium wasn't just the sound of celebration. It was the release of years of hope, pain, and anticipation that had finally come to an end. But the real story was only just beginning. The players boarded the plane in Qatar, exhausted, yet their eyes carried a sparkle that only those who have achieved the biggest dream of their lives can truly understand. As the aircraft flew toward Buenos Aires, something extraordinary was already happening below. Throughout the entire night, millions of people poured into the streets. Homes were empty. Shops were closed. Traffic had stopped. Because everyone wanted to be in only one place, to welcome their heroes home. According to several reports, millions of fans gathered for the celebration. The crowds became so massive that even security officials and local authorities struggled to control them. When the plane finally landed at Buenos Aires airport, thousands of supporters were already waiting. But that was only the beginning. The real explosion of celebration started when the open-top victory parade began. Standing proudly on top of the bus, the players raised the World Cup trophy high into the sky. As far as the eye could see, there was nothing but an endless sea of people. Fans climbed onto rooftops, hung from light poles, stood on top of cars, all for just one glimpse of their champions. The celebration became so overwhelming that the parade had to be stopped midway. For safety reasons, the players were eventually transferred to helicopters. Just imagine. The celebration had grown so enormous that it could no longer be controlled. This wasn't just a football victory. It was a victory for people who had endured years of hardship, economic struggles, daily challenges, life's endless difficulties. Yet, for one unforgettable night, every worry disappeared. Every face carried the same emotion: pride. Some parents lifted their children onto their shoulders so they could witness this historic moment. Elderly fans stood with tears in their eyes. Many of them had witnessed Argentina's previous World Cup triumph decades earlier. But this time, the emotions felt even deeper. Young supporters chanted the names of their favorite players. Drums echoed through the streets. Flags waved endlessly in the air. And everywhere, one sound united millions of voices: the Argentine national anthem. Yet amid all the celebration, one question remained. Could this welcome be so extraordinary that even the players themselves would be left speechless? The answer was yes. Later, several players admitted they had never experienced anything like it in their entire lives. One player said that when he looked down from above, all he could see was an endless ocean of people. There was no end in sight. It became a memory they would carry forever. Even as night slowly faded, the celebrations never truly ended. Families embraced each other. Friends celebrated together. It felt as though this victory didn't belong only to the players. It belonged to every single person who had believed in this dream. On that night, Argentina wasn't simply a country. It became an emotion the entire world could feel. And when morning finally arrived, the scattered flags and quiet streets told the story of a truly historic night.
People were exhausted.
Yet the smiles on their faces remained. Perhaps they always will. Because this wasn't just another celebration. It was the moment an entire nation showed the world the depth of its passion, loyalty, and love. And perhaps that's why, even today, whenever people remember that unforgettable night, tears still fill their eyes. Because some moments don't simply become memories. They become a part of who we are. And that night will remain forever written in the history of Argentina.